Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to all of you. So this is chapter 4, which is program planning. As what I've mentioned to you guys before this, program planning is part of the definition of public relation. Alright? Okay, before we go deeper into this chapter, it's very important untuk korang tahu what are the types of PR plan that we have. Kita ada 3 type altogether. Kita ada ad hoc plan, kita ada standing plan and kita ada contingency plan. So when we discuss about ad hoc plan, ad hoc in Latin means for this purpose only. Ad hoc plan means a temporary plan for a specific purpose only. For example, kalau korang nak organize birthday party untuk kawan korang, alright, it is considered as ad hoc plan because it is meant for a specific purpose only. It's not something yang korang akan live with birthday party forever. Okay? By purpose je yang korang buat birthday party punya plan. So that is what we call ad hoc plan. Then kita ada standing plan. This type of plan is meant to nurture the long-term relationship between organisation and public or within the organisation. For example, kita ambil contoh kerajaan Malaysia. Okay, diorang ada muzium negara because they want to nurture the relationship between the government and the public by instilling or reminding the public about the history punya cerita yang kita ada in Malaysia. Kalau kita tak ada muzium negara, how are we supposed to have a very close relationship with our beloved country? Okay? Tapi again kan, when we talk about standing plan, dia punya keburukan is very simple. Standing plan dia akan jadi terlampau lama. So bila terlampau lama, dia akan jadi sangat boring untuk sesetengah orang. Then last but not least, we have contingency plan. This plan is used for what if scenarios. Through good screening and monitoring, organizations often spot issues with prompt them to come up with contingency plan. For example, I'm sure you guys have heard of this. If let's say your plan A doesn't work, you have to rely on your plan B or plan C. Meaning to say that this is what we call backup plan. If your main agenda doesn't work, what are the things that you can do to replace your main agenda? Once you guys are made aware of 3 types of PR plan, now you have to know the 6 main reasons for planning. We have aligned actions with values-based mission, secure needed resources, control our destiny, better understand research, help to achieve consensus, and last but not least, effectively manage resources. Okay, these are the explanations for the main reasons for planning. The first one, align actions with values-based mission. Again, when we plan something, planning will ensure that our actions are ethical and goal-oriented as it prevents random, pointless actions that do not promote our values. Again, when we have a detailed plan, we would know that this action will support our organization goal ke tidak. This action will promote the values that the organization is trying to portray to the public ke tidak. Because again, when you want to act on something, you have to make sure that it aligns with the goals of the organization because you want to achieve win-win situation. Then kita ada secure needed resources. Again, we need to build a very strong relationship with the public because they have the resources that organization tak ada. It goes back to the theory of resource dependency theory where the resources of the organization kita depend kepada public. So again, by having a good relationship with the public, it will ensure that we can secure the resources, for example, manpower or perhaps support from the public. Then kita ada control our destiny. Planning helps an organization to control its destiny by proactively managing issues rather than just reacting to them. For example, when you have a detailed plan, you would know what are the things yang akan terjadi in future. Okay, by knowing the possibility, you will be able to know what are the actions that can be taken to mitigate issues. Sometimes it's very important for us to manage the issue rather than dwelling with them, you know. Because sometimes bila kita control our destiny, when we know what to do, kita akan tahu benda yang berfaedah or benda yang tak berfaedah for the company. Then better understand research. A detailed plan can quickly show us what we know and what we don't know. Again, before you plan something, you are expected to do a thorough research. So when you do a thorough research, sometimes you akan tahu, oh benda ni akan terjadi. So when you know the situation better, you would know benda tu secara lagi detail. Help to achieve consensus. From research study tu, you will get the approval from the top management based on what you are proposing. So for example, if let's say the top management approves what you are trying to do, then you will achieve the consensus, meaning to say that the collaboration between the top management and you yourself to execute the plan. Effectively manage resources. Again, when we talk about resources, is very sensitive issues. Resources such as money, manpower, time, space, very limited. Hence, you are expected to learn how you want to manage these resources so that you will be able to leverage on the organization strength. Okay. Okay, the next step is for you to prepare a program plan. So a PR plan identifies what is to be done, why, and most importantly, how to accomplish it. By preparing such plan, PR practitioner can make sure that all these elements have been addressed. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you prepare your plan later on, you have to make sure that you have all these 8 elements covered. Okay, these are the elements needed in your PR plan. The first one is what we call situation. So before you come up with your plan, it's very important to assess the problem. It's very important for you to assess the problem. They explain why you need to have the program or plan for the public. Then kita ada objective. So once the situation or problem is understood, the next step is to establish the objectives of the program. Stated objective should be evaluated by asking 3 questions. Does this address the situation? Is it realistic? Or can success be measured in a long-term duration? Again, you can have objectives, many objectives, but again, you have to make sure that your objectives are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, alright? Then kita ada audience. Again, we are all general public, okay? But you have to understand that certain program is meant for certain public. So it's very important for you to identify the target audience for your program or your plan. Then we have strategy. A strategy describes how and why PR program will achieve its objective. A strategy provides guidelines and key message themes for the overall program. Again, so once you have known your objective, your audience, next is for you to think how you want to execute the plan. For example, okay, korang nak buka business baru, okay? And one of your strategies is to tap on the gigantic hypermarket stores in Malaysia, for example, Giant ataupun Tesco. That is your strategy to have partnership. Then we go to tactics. Tactics, in contrast to strategies, are the nuts and bolts part of the plan. It describes the specific activities that put each strategy into operation. Okay, fine tadi. Tadi korang kata, okay, we want one of our strategies is to have partnership with hypermarket players in Malaysia. So that is your strategy. So the tactic is for you to tap into their loyalty program. For example, Tesco Club Card. That is the tactics. Meaning to say that tactics is more specific compared to strategy. Then kita ada calendar. The next step is to produce a Gantt chart. Again, in any project, you should have Gantt chart. 3 considerations: the timing of the campaign, scheduling of the tactics, and compiling a calendar. The timing of the campaign is basically when you want to execute the program. Bila? Is it suitable enough during that particular period of time? Then kita ada scheduling of the tactics. So once you have identified the right timing, the next step is to tactic. Again, what are the things that you need to do in order for you to achieve the objective and the strategy? And last but not least is what we call compiling a calendar. Compiling a calendar kat sini maksudnya there are certain things that you have to do in advance. Meaning to say that, for example, korang nak buat campaign pada bulan November. Alright? Compiling a calendar meaning to say that before you sampai bulan November tu, bulan 6, Jun, Julai, August, September are the months that you have to start working on your campaign. You are thinking in advance for your plan. Then budget. No program is complete without a budget. Budgeting is very important to ensure the smoothness or the success of the program. Again, if let's say you are, even if let's say you guys are required to do a charity program, you cannot run away from budget. So again, by detailing your budget, you'll be able to explain to the top management what are the budgets needed in order for you to run the program. And evaluation. The evaluation of the program is to measure the objective, tactics, timeline, and budget. Again, once you have done everything, it's very important for you to reflect where are the parts that need improvement. So you constantly evaluate your plan so that you can improve in future. Okay, this is the last part of your chapter 4. Qualities of good plan. A good plan seeks measurable results and it has specific deadlines. So basically we have 5 qualities of good plan. The first one, support specific goal of organization. Again, as I've mentioned to you before this, the PR plan must be in line with the organization goal or objective. You have to make sure that the plans that you have created or you are thinking about must be in line with the objective because you do not want to get sidetracked in future. Creative. PR plan must be goal-oriented and must be creative enough to tailor or customize the plan accordingly. Again, you are expected to be creative and creativity is very very important, especially when you want to ensure that you are fulfilling the goal of the organization. Sometimes the goal is there, but sometimes you have to be creative enough to think few ways on how you want to get there. In realistic, do not promise more than you can achieve. Unrealistic tactics or strategies include those that require more resources, expertise than your organization can supply. Again, when you plan for something, make sure that it is within the capacity of the organization. If let's say you are about to conduct an event which requires 50 of your staff, make sure that the plan is for 50. You cannot plan for something that is more than 50, for example 100 or 150, because it is not within the capacity of your organization. Flexible. Things change, audiences change. Okay, creativity and flexible, they work hand in hand. Again, you have to be creative enough in order for you to be flexible. Constant evaluation is a must to evaluate the situation or plan. Sometimes you have to understand that being flexible is very very important because people tend to change their mind easily. People tend to have different perceptions, different ideas on certain things. So if let's say you are being flexible, it's very very important for you to think thoroughly how flexibility can come into picture. If you are flexible enough, trust me, you can penetrate into any idea that your organization is proposing. And last but not least, we have win-win situation. Again, a good plan, it works both ways. Yeah. If when you plan something, it benefits you because you are the initiator. You are trying to convey to the company that, hey, I'm creative enough to come up with this plan. At the same time, you have to make sure that the plan that you are proposing can bring benefit to the organization, because the benefit of the plan cannot stand on its own. Okay, and that's all for your chapter 4. I'll see you again soon. Ciao.